Hey everybody, today I want to teach you two things that I think will help you view your spouse in a better light, your kids. It'll help you understand yourself better, your coworkers, your parents, and these two things are abandonment and attachment. Sounds very dramatic, I know, but I give this speech so many times, whether it's in session, whether it's on my podcast, and I feel like it sets the stage for empathy, understanding how we've gotten to where we've gotten to in our own personal lives. But let me jump right to the point. So when you are born, we are all born these little squishy babies, and we immediately we need food, we need sustenance, and we need to be taken care of. We need to be cleaned up if we make a mess on ourselves, and we need to be held. We need that oxytocin, that cuddle hormone. So these are survival instincts. They are built in within us. So in other words, if we don't receive these, if we are abandoned, then that equals death. So that is one of the most scary things that's built in, because we are born into this world with a innate desire to survive. So how do we get those needs met? We cry, we scream, and everyone around us immediately, from nurses to doctors, your mom, your dad, picks you up and then takes care of those needs. So the path is now set. The wiring is being laid in the foundation of the home of the brain, where you express your needs and everyone jumps. You're fed, you're cleaned, you're held. So from that point on, I kind of jokingly but dramatically say, welcome to the world of abandonment. Now, again, sounds dramatic, but as you go through this development cycle of life, as you hit year 2, 3, 4, 5, now you are working from the same infantile brain. You are an egocentric, needy creature. No judgment in that. That's just the way it is. You are the center of the universe. When you express your needs, people jump. But as I say, welcome to the world of abandonment. What does abandonment look like in years 2, 3, 4, 5? Hey champ, you can't have candy before dinner. Or no, you can't stay up late tonight. Or we can't go to Disneyland. Or you can't have that toy. And so think about that from the tiny brain as it is moving through these development stages of life. It's this, wait, abandonment equals death. When I express myself, I get my needs met. All of a sudden, I want to go to Disneyland. Nobody is jumping to my every whim. What is wrong? Something's wrong here. So now we've got two different things going on, kind of happening in parallel. From an abandonment standpoint, we start realizing, wait, why am I not getting my needs met? I'm expressing myself, I'm asking for things, and as we move through adolescence, as we move into teenagerhood, as we move into adulthood, we're carrying the same, remember, wiring under the foundation in the brain of abandonment equals death. I express myself and I get my needs met. Now people aren't jumping to my every need, every whim, every cry. And so we are unaware, as these egocentric, attachment-based creatures, we're unaware of the plight of others. Empathy doesn't come from the factory, I'm afraid. And so we're unaware of things that our caregivers are going through, that they have stuff going on in their own lives, that they're also, whether they mean the best of intentions, they're trying to balance this rub a little dirt in it mentality, or you got to figure this out on your own, or this is how I grew up. We're kind of balancing some of that, or they might be going through their own struggles with mental health or depression or overwhelm, financial pressures from work, pressures in their marriage. But again, we only see this from our own standpoint, as in, why is everyone not meeting my needs? Because we're not aware of what's going on in their world. So this eventually leads to what experts call toxic shame. What does that mean? That without that understanding of what's going on with everyone else, that empathy of what's going on around us, the plight of others, and we're egocentric, and no judgment, again, that's how we come from the factory in order to survive. And we also have no idea how to truly self-advocate or express the needs that we have, because we're kids and we're going through life with what we know at that time. And so in that scenario, when we hit this adolescence, adulthood, we start feeling like, well, it must be me, because if people aren't meeting my needs, something must be wrong with me. I must be unlovable. I must be broken. I must be, something's wrong with me. Not that, okay, I'm relying on all these other people to meet my needs, and I'm in this imperfect world with imperfect people, with chaos, with things that are just going on that are beyond my control. So I feel like that's a significant thing to bring some awareness to in your own life and the life of others, that we really are just trying to use these infantile, somewhat childish mechanisms to get our needs met, and we carry them forth into adulthood when we're in adulthood. As adults, we can express our needs, and we don't have to do it in a demeaning, demanding kind of way. Now, the other track that's going on is attachment. What does that look like? So if abandonment equals death, and we're egocentric, and we aren't able to self-regulate or aren't able to get our own needs met, we're going to try to figure out how to do that. And from an attachment standpoint, what does that look like? Okay, am I going to be the peacemaker? Maybe then everybody will like me. Am I going to be the star athlete? Am I going to be a perfectionist? Am I going to get good grades? Is that the way I'm going to get recognized? Or am I going to be a teen full of anger and rage? Because that's the only way that I get noticed, is when I am acting out or I am doing something wrong. Because if I'm doing something good, nobody notices. Nobody cares. Again, even that teenager doesn't understand that if the parents have a lot of things going on in their own world, that teenager that is really easy to deal with is a blessing. You know, they got to spend all their time over here with the chaotic, the rebellious, the withdrawn, the challenged. And so, again, from an attachment standpoint, now, sometimes we withdraw. Sometimes we get angry. Sometimes we're the star athlete. We're all trying to do whatever we can to figure out how to get those needs met. And so when you put those two together, you can see how when we show up into relationships or we show up as an adult, it's no wonder that we aren't even sure of ourselves. Because in certain situations, if we are very formal and we act very smart, that person likes us. And in this one, if we're the good athlete, that person likes us. And over here, if we're just kind of the victim and, man, I don't know what to do, somebody might come rescue us. And so it's just it's a big jumbled mess of who are we and how do we present ourselves. So with this information for yourself, this is where we start to say, okay, I can be captain of my own ship. It's scary, sure, because I'm bringing forth these childhood wounds, these childhood abandonment issues, these childhood attachment needs into adulthood. So this is all brand new for me. And what's fascinating is when you go back and look at that ego-centered, blesses his or her heart child, that when they are feeling like they're the center of the universe, they feel like everything's their fault. I've talked to so many people that feel like even at their parents' divorce, that they still carry this guilt, or that, man, if I would have done something different, then maybe I could have saved my parents' marriage. Or if I've worked with clients that if there has been some chronic illness from a parent, you know, the kids kind of felt like, because they are center of the universe trying to figure things out as a kid, that if they did something different, maybe their parent would get better. And so we still carry these wounds into adulthood of, it's my fault. And I had someone in my office recently that was talking about let's just say an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old that had been wrestling. 12-year-old gets hurt. 8-year-old says, man, it's my fault. And the parent said, oh, no, I told them it's not their fault. But then go back and think about that kid is progressing through life with the brain that they only know what they know at that time, and is ego-centered, as people all of a sudden not meeting their needs, people not understanding them. Something must be wrong with them, or people would get their needs met, or their needs would get met, that they think it is their fault, whether it's the divorce, the kid gets hurt, those sort of things. Now, I'm not saying this from a doom and gloom standpoint. I'm saying it from a standpoint of, if you are the parent, just let your kid talk, hear them, tell me more about that. Don't try to dismiss them and fix it and say don't worry about it, because they are worrying about it. So try to understand where they're at. If you're the adult that now is starting to process, why do people not meet my needs? What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. You are a human being that has come to this point in your life based on all of the issues that you bring to the table. Your nature, your nurture, your abandonment, rejection, your DNA, your fears, your hopes, your dreams, and all of that makes you who you are right now. That's why you think, feel, and behave the way that you do. Now, with this awareness, what do? It's time to self-advocate. It's time to build some confidence. It's time to find out the values that really matter to you, and not what you have been trying to do so that other people will like you, or that other people won't leave you. Because when you come from more of this place of confidence, then not only will the people around you feel that confidence, feel that energy, feel that power, but you will start to then attract the type of people that want to be around you. You're reversing this cycle of, I have to be the person that is loved. It's I am the person that is lovable. So there's a quick, I could go on about this for days. I've done more podcasts on this lately than I think I've ever done about a subject. Go check them out on the virtual couch. You can find it at tonyoverbay.com. While you're there, sign up to find out about more things. I've got an upcoming magnetic marriage course that is going to bring some amazing skills into play to help you communicate more effectively, because as we just laid out, we're all different people. We're all coming to the table with all these different experiences of abandonment and attachment, and we just want to be heard. We just want to be loved. You deserve it. Let's figure out a way to get you there. And with that said, I'll see you next time on the virtual couch.